Lily discovered the clock tucked away in the dusty corner of her grandfather's attic. Hidden beneath a faded quilt embroidered with constellations, it wasn't grand or particularly beautiful. Just a simple wooden mantel clock with a plain white face, brass hands, and a small, silent pendulum behind a glass door. Yet something about its quiet presence drew her, and intrigued by its stillness amidst the attic's usual creaks and groans, she carefully lifted it, feeling the surprisingly warm wood beneath her fingers. Unlike the busy, noisy clocks downstairs, this one seemed frozen in a moment of deep contemplation. Holding its breath as if waiting for a secret signal, the dust motes danced in the single sunbeam, piercing the gloom, illuminating the clock's face like a silent question mark in the quiet air. When Lily brought it downstairs, her grandfather's eyes lit up with a soft, knowing smile. "Ah," he breathed, gently taking the clock from her small hands. "I wondered where old Kronos had wandered off to." He placed it carefully on the mantelpiece above the crackling fireplace. "This isn't just any clock, Lilyflower," he explained, his voice warm and gravelly like stones smoothed by a river. "This is the curious heart. It doesn't measure minutes like others do. Its gears only turn, its pendulum only swings, when genuine curiosity stirs nearby, when someone truly wonders, truly asks." He tapped the glass gently. "Listen." The room was silent, except for the fire's soft hiss. The clock remained utterly still, its hands unmoving at 3:10, a monument to suspended time. Lily stared, fascinated and slightly skeptical. Later that afternoon, Lily sat cross-legged on the rug before the fireplace, utterly absorbed in a book about deep-sea creatures. A picture of a glowing anglerfish, its lure dangling like a grotesque lantern in the perpetual dark, captivated her. "Grandpa," she called out, her voice filled with genuine awe, "how does this fish make its own light? Does it ever get scared down there in the dark all alone?" As the questions tumbled from her lips, a soft, rhythmic sound filled the quiet room. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Lily's head whipped around the brass pendulum behind the glass door of the curious heart clock was swinging steadily. Smoothly the hands had moved. They now pointed to 3:15. A shiver of pure wonder, not fear, raced down her spine. It was real from that day on. The curious heart clock became the silent witness and companion to Lily and Grandpa's shared explorations. Its gentle ticking was the soundtrack as they peered through Grandpa's old brass telescope at the craters of the moon, Lily peppering him with questions about astronauts and space. "Dust," it whirred softly as they mixed baking soda and vinegar in the kitchen, watching the foamy eruption with delighted squeals, Lily demanding to know why it bubbled so fiercely. It marked the time, not in hours, but in moments of pure, unadulterated discovery, as they identified bird songs in the garden or traced the intricate veins of a fallen leaf. The clock's quiet, rhythmic pulse became a comforting affirmation of their shared wonder, a tangible proof that their questions mattered, that seeking understanding was a beautiful, living thing. As the seasons turned, Grandpa grew quieter, his steps slowed, and he spent more time resting in his favorite armchair by the fire. Lily would sit beside him, reading aloud from adventure stories or showing him intricate drawings she'd made. She noticed the curious heart clock stood silent for longer stretches, even when she tried to ask questions about the stories or her drawings. One still afternoon, Grandpa fell asleep in his chair, his breath shallow and uneven. Lily sat vigil on the rug, clutching her knees, watching him, a heavy feeling settling in her chest like cold stone. She glanced at the clock. It was utterly frozen. The hands hadn't moved from 4:30 in days. The silence of the clock mirrored the stillness in the room, and the stillness growing inside her, a profound quiet where questions seemed too heavy to ask. After Grandpa was gone, the big, echoing house felt unbearably quiet. Lily avoided the living room for weeks, the sight of the empty armchair and the silent clock too painful. One gray afternoon, drawn by a strange mix of grief and longing, she finally crept in. Dust had settled lightly on the curious heart's wooden casing. She traced the constellations carved into the mantelpiece, remembering Grandpa's stories about them sitting on the rug. She pulled out his old star map, the paper crackling softly. A faded notation near Orion caught her eye, written in Grandpa's spidery handwriting. Look for the nebula. Like smoke from a cosmic campfire, a spark ignited within her. Faint but undeniable. What is a nebula really made of, Grandpa? She whispered into the quiet room, her voice thick with unshed tears. And do you see them now? A soft, hesitant click broke the silence, then another tick-tock, tick-tock. The pendulum began its gentle, unwavering swing. Once more Lily didn't jump this time. A slow warmth spread through her. Different from grief, a quiet recognition. The curious heart clock hadn't forgotten. It was Grandpa's final, gentle lesson. Curiosity wasn't gone. It was his enduring gift, a lifeline cast across the vast silence. The clock's steady rhythm became a comforting presence in the big house. Lily found herself asking questions again. About stars, about history, about how birds navigated, about the strange beauty of moss growing on stone. Sometimes the ticking was loud and vigorous as she delved into a new book. Sometimes it was a soft, almost hesitant pulse when her questions were tinged with sadness. But it never truly stopped. It reminded her that wonder was the quiet engine of the world, a bridge built of questions that spanned even the deepest loss, keeping a beloved presence vibrantly alive in the gentle, persistent tick-tock, tick-tock of a curious heart.